Now they're getting ready. So you think these? I personally think they do, but I'm on the fence about it.
Right?
Do you think these are good for pool to have these low-level tournaments played? See, here's my thing, right? Yes, I think the low-level tournaments they got to get players in there who will play because if not, they're just going to get beat by the better players and they're donating their money. They have no chance. So I
Okay.
think the attitude of a player saying, "Okay, I got a chance to win," is good.
Okay.
But do you think after that point they're going to understand they need to get better?
Play by playing better players.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
See, and I think that's the rub of these tournaments. Oh, I'm making a lot of money. I'm doing really good. I don't need to get any better.
So yeah, so it's completely different than what we did when we were playing pool, right? You always trying to play the better player. You want to get
Yeah.
better. You were trying to improve your game, right?
Yeah, I
So
learned that I lost my nickels and dimes just like everybody else.
so looking at it from two different perspectives. So from a player's perspective, yes, you're correct, 100%. But but from an establishment, it's how can I get the most players I can into my bar on this slow time
Sure.
to create something,
Sure.
which is what it's about, right?
Yeah.
And my opinion about Las Vegas is that the quality of players at upper level is like right there. It runs the best within almost anybody else in the country, right?
I'd agree with that.
But there's not a lot of them. Like this is a small community. Everybody thinks it's a big town. This is not a big town.
Yeah, the town is big. The community is small. Cool. You're absolutely right about
And
that.
so
All right, that's the first break.
and the problem is the lower level players nowadays just don't want to come in and play a tournament that's open and play better players.
Yeah.
The only tournament I've played in the last
The
6
last tournament I
months.
played in here, I was given the field the 5 out and one
Yeah.
one lady the 4 out. Even though I still won,
Yes.
it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'd never done that before.
The last tournament I played in was even. It was over at Rum Runner about 3-4 weeks ago, and I was playing world class players. Eden was in it. There's like a lot of good players in it, and it was an even race.
Yeah.
And I don't mind playing in those. I prefer playing in those. If I'm gonna
Yeah, if you're going to show out, you're going to show out. But it's tough to play against those guys because you're only going to get 3 mistakes, maybe.
Yeah. And if I lose to them, well, you know what? Maybe I should have lost to them. But if I beat them, man,
Yeah.
like my game's back in the day, it was like, man, my game would take such a confidence boost and step forward. So I don't mind playing in them, and I'm used to playing them because, like I was saying, as a kid, I played them quite a lot. But the only thing I can say is for where it comes to the lower level stuff, and these guys, man, if you're 580 and under, you can make $100,000 winning 2 tournaments here in Las Vegas.
There's no incentive to get better
Yeah, you can make 100.
because you made more than a doctor.
And that's 2 weekends. And
Yeah.
2 weekends, if you win both those tournaments, that's $100,000.
Yeah.
I can see why they don't want to get better, or they want to get better and keep their Fargo under the 580. So then they avoid a lot of stuff. Anything that would be Fargo rated, they don't want to go in and get their Fargo changed.
Yeah.
Especially if they've already got that 500 plus robust, which is what most people ask for.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot.
I mean, some of them are like 200 games or whatever. It's amazing.
That's nothing.
Yeah, I know.
That's absolutely nothing. I had no robust here 4 years ago. Joined a BCA league and played it pretty consistently for 2 years. Played in nationals a couple of times, and I'm over like 3,500.
Wow.
Yeah, doing nothing. Just playing one league a night.
I still don't think in 5 years, I don't think I still have 100 games. Well, maybe close. I might be close.
And your Fargo is what,
714.
Yeah, 720, somewhere in that area. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is about right. I mean, I'm not that good anymore, but I still enjoy the game. I know a lot about the game. I try to teach people, but I think
you move well for sure. Like I played you enough to know how well you move.
Yeah, I still think the game, which is nice.
Right. That's everything, right?
And I think at this level is the opposite of what they do. The guy shot the 1 ball with no chance of getting the 2 to the 3.
Right.
So, I mean, I get it. I understand at the level they're playing, but still, knowledge is a powerful thing.
It's king.
Yeah. I was thinking about that on the way over, what I was going to say about this level of play.
Yes.
And it came out to an oddity. A friend of mine always says he'd like to be 1 in a million. And I'm like, well, you know what? In this particular game, at this day and age, I would rather be 1 of a million. Simply because I'm trying to do what I used to be able to do. but now I have to aim, right? Now I have to think about it.
You have to work.
Yeah, before, I
Natural.
when I was putting the time in, I enjoyed it so much. The
Yes.
practice, the
Yes.
trial and tribulation, the
Yes.
wins, the losses, all of that combined made me the player I was. But now I went from being one in a million to one of a million. Now I'm like, okay, I got to put my cue down. I got to put my feet down. I got to line up. And where's this ball going to go if I miss it? Because now I'm thinking about it. Where's it going to go if I miss it?
Far before you just go and fire away, and just natural pull and just let it ride.
It was a beautiful thing. I could just talk and play,
not think about anything, just do it.
Yeah, because the repetition of it, I was doing it so much.
Yes.
But now it's like, woo! I got to put some time in.
I mean, I got to come down here and play pool. So I know that you have plenty of stories when you played on the pro event.
Wow.
What a shot that was, huh?
It worked out really nice. Wow. That's one shots like that. The reason why I'm on this side. I don't want to be over there having to fade that anymore. Shots like that took me to the commentary booth.
He played it perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect speed, got perfect position. He should be out for me. You know what? This is Atish. This is Adrian's dad. And so I asked him. I said,
"Hey, what's up?"
I asked him. I said,
"See, here's a tricky shot. Here's a shot that you have to be an individual to play. I play this ball inside English, and I go three rails, shoot the 7 and 8 in the same pocket.
I agree.
Simply because if I miss it, I'm behind.
You're loud. We're not in the booth.
No.
You're coaching.
Oh, am I? You talking too loud?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That's a rarity.
Think golf. It's a rarity, my ass.
Yeah. He's playing outside. He's trying to scratch. There's two scratches in there.
Bottom right? Oh, he's going. No, I like the 3 rail shot to myself. That's how I would definitely play it.
Yeah.
And then the cue ball comes back past the side pocket and shoot it straight down the table.
Well, you could just, The thing is it was the key shot of the game.
Yes.
If you miss that ball, which everybody misses, right? And especially at this level, everybody misses.
Sure.
If you miss that ball, you're behind the 8 ball.
You're safe.
If you hit the 9, you got no shot. If you miss the 9, you might scratch. There's things that go on.
Yes.
Handball skid.
And that's where you're talking about, where the knowledge comes in, where you've done it so many times and you've done it so competitive that.
Yeah, that shot would come naturally.
Ooh, look at that shot, though. That's
skinny jeans right there.
That's bad, baby.
That's bar pool. Welcome to bar pool. It all came out in the wash.
I want some stories from you.
Stories?
Back in the day.
Holy mackerel.
And I've seen events where you showed me videos where you were actually on the 50-yard line, front seat watching some of the best matches in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because you were actually in these tournaments and playing.
Some of them not very long, but yes. When I was in the front seat, I was usually trying to get my money back.
Side betting?
Yeah.
Sweating some action?
Or as a friend of mine. I grew up around a lot of really good players.
Phone, buddy. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, how you doing?
Man, we got all these guys. We're going to have to get him on the stream, too.
Yeah, I know.
What a day.
We're going to get some players.
I love my life, man. You know, I've showed so much respect to a lot of players. They all want to come in and help me with this stream. It's fantastic.
This is the first time for me. I've not talked about pool on a stream for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm a really good friend with Pat Fleming, who owned AccuStats. In my day, it was the thing. It was the mechanism that caused me to rethink what it was I was doing. I mean, I got quite fortunate to have a teacher, Jose Perica, and he taught me how to play the game correctly. Right? But a lot of people didn't have that, but they had AccuStats. Matches between some of the best players in the world
that you got to watch and maybe learn something else.
And I got the analysis of some of the greatest players in the world.
Oh yeah,
talking about why they're doing what they're doing.
So basically, coaching.
Yes, it was an extremely knowledgeable thing to understand that you're getting to watch the best players in the world, and you're listening to why they're doing what they're doing.
Sure.
That's a powerful thing.
And now they got YouTube.
Sure.
Oh my God, there was none of that back in my day.
No, me neither. I had to lose my nickels and dimes, like I
Yes,
said,
yes.
to learn
And that's how
stuff.
you learned.
Well, like I said, I was on the tour for 3 years before I realized, because of Jose Perica, that I didn't know anything about pool. I thought this little guy was just losing his mind. I mean, I'm a great shot maker, not the best position player, but
Right.
if I had an edge, I could make it. But he taught me there's an easier, better way to do things.
Smarter.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder. But that's what I was talking about when I first sat down. Was I'm just trying to realize what it is I'm trying to accomplish now. Not this wild shot maker who didn't care. Like, for instance, I'm a better banker now than I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, I know.
Because I could cut balls like crazy.
You whooped the crap out of me in the qualifier for the U.S. Open.
I did. But I'm just saying that it was amazing that learning to bank balls was something I've been playing pool for 35 years, but I tried to avoid it.
So I've been asking everybody, do you use an aiming system of any kind?
The aiming system I use is very, very difficult to explain and understand because my center ball is dominated by my stature. I'm not 6'4". I'm not a Hulk, right?
But doesn't that make it easier because you're closer to the table?
No.
Okay, I always thought it did.
No.
I thought the opposite. Okay, go ahead.
No. So one of the things that Jose taught me was the center of the ball is not actually the dead center of the ball, and it's an alignment issue. So because I'm a little more round than most, my cue's off my dominant eye.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
So now it takes dead center to the right because my right eye is dominant. And because I'm shorter, right, my angle, in other words, I don't have to bend over as much. So now I'm actually higher than most people who are taller because they've got to bend over more to get down the sight line.
I have to.
So that puts my center ball high and to the right.
Really?
Yes. So
it's the first time I've heard anything like that.
So, and it happens to a lot of people. They don't realize that their center ball is not the center of the cue ball.
So when you're saying center ball, are you talking about the cue ball or the object ball?
Cue ball.
Okay.
So you can
you're
think of yourself
the center of the cue ball
as
to
a
the object
beginner.
ball?
Yeah, as a beginner, you can miss shots by overspinning them.
Correct.
And not understanding why.
100%. Yes.
And the understanding is because you don't know where your center is. Eric, your center is different than my center.
Well, I'm blind in my right eye, so I'm way off.
So yeah, and my eyes are bad. But the reason why people understand, this is what I was saying earlier. The reason why people don't understand where their center ball is because they learn from bad players. And I had the option and the
luck.
Yeah, it really was luck. I don't know why he chose me to be a student, but he did.
You.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But it happened to be that one of the things he taught me was my center ball is my center ball. So learning to teach, I had to learn first where their center ball was, not just mine.
Do you have a method you use to find somebody's?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I take a ball and I put it dead center of the table. I take a stripe because this is a hand-eye coordination game, but technically it's a foot-hand game.
Your right foot, or if you're right-handed?
Yes. No. Yes, it's my lead foot.
Oh, it's your lead foot.
Yeah. So whatever is actually my left, because I step into a shot with my left.
So your left foot. Yeah.
So my left foot is my preliminary, primary target. My second are my eyes. See, here's the thing: you can take a cue and put it behind your back.
Yeah.
And shoot a ball in the hole.
Right.
You can close your eyes and shoot a ball in the hole.
Okay.
What does that tell you? It tells you that your feet and your hands are more important than your eyes because your eyes can betray you.
So I was taught always a little different. I was always taught put your right foot on line.
No.
Right foot on line to your elbow, to your wrist, to your eye.
No. See, that's a little bit too technical, and that's what Jose taught me to understand.
I don't understand how you put your left foot on line.
That's the primary target.
I don't understand what you mean.
So here's the thing. Where does the beginning of your shot start?
Back right. That's how I was taught.
Behind the shot.
Yeah.
You must first determine what it is you want to accomplish with the shot.
Okay.
Step into the shot, get your position.
Shot routine.
Yes, very important. Or else you're starting from X, which is the unknown in mathematics.
Right.
So if you start from the X, then you're lost.
You don't know where you're going.
Yeah, so you must start from the back and breathing.
And build the.
You must first understand from behind the shot. Okay, am I going to follow it? Am I going to draw it? What am I going to do? Am I going to hit it hard? Am I going to hit it soft? All that's before you even get into your stance.
And of course, you're aiming also, right?
Your aiming comes from your feet. You step into the shot,
You-
and then you get down.
Okay.
Right? Those are the things. Your foot, then your hand are your preliminary primary targets.
Okay.
And then you get down. So that way, if you get nervous, something goes wrong, you can still be in line and make the shot.
Crazy. I was taught the same thing, except for I was always taught to put your back foot on the line
No.
and then step into it.
No.
Fall into it.
It's close. As long as as long as your dominant foot is forward, you're fine.
Okay.
But yeah. So it comes down to understanding fundamentals. But the fundamental is understanding from behind the shot.
While you're standing.
Yeah, when you're 5 feet from the table, you should have gotten to your decision before you put your hand down.
Completely understand what you're going to do with the shot and everything, so you don't lose focus or kind of.
Well, focus comes from breathing.
Rethink yourself, and then you.
Yeah, if you breathe too fast, you're going to make yourself nervous. You breathe too slow, your mind's going to wander. Did I tie my shoe? What color is the sky?
Sure.
So you need to be able to understand a couple of things. One, pre-shot routine. Two, I've made my decision and I'm going to live with it. Shoot this shot.
Right.
And then from there, you just go from point A to point B. Quite simple.
Okay. So I hate bringing up things like this, but you were playing in the One Pocket U.S. Open, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And there's a referee. I can't remember. I can't remember who the referee was.
This was an amazing thing. Simply because, how many times are you going to hear about a guy trying to make a masse 3-ball combination? You got to be out of your mind. So the thing was
in the U.S. Open.
Yeah, and this was a crucial match.
Yes.
This match not only got me into the money, this match got me to where I could freewheel to my next opponent. Right? So I had a lot going on in this shot. A 3-ball masse combination. The reason why I was masse is because my opponent had put me on the ball, and I had no choice. Even to not foul, I had to take the cue vertical.
Yes.
So I had to masse. So I hit a good shot, and then all the balls just opened up.
Beautiful shot.
Like it was just like a nice spring day. A flower just said, "Hello, here's my world." I had 4 balls. I needed 3. So I hit this shot, and I'm watching the object ball because
it was so beautiful. You're in your own zone. It's like, man, God, I get
the world was beautiful.
Who's the champion?
Yeah.
Who's the champ?
I mean, think about this for a minute. Everybody's watching this one shot because what idiot's going to jack up and shoot a 3-ball combination?
They had to call over the referee to watch the hit.
Yeah, that was a little showing off. I should have called somebody else. I should have called like a blind Ray Charles or somebody.
Why? I called it right. So I was the referee, by the way.
He's killing me. I slammed this ball because I had to get a rail and I had to get all 3 balls down by my pocket, which everything turned out perfect. But one thing.
So there's definitely some power involved.
One thing happened.
Cue ball.
I let the cue ball fly around. It hit the rail, and it spun backwards. But I didn't care where it went because I had 4 balls near my hole, and I had everything was fine.
Clear focus. Yeah.
So I didn't even watch the cue ball. Somebody was watching it. So when I got off the table, I'm looking around. I'm giving everybody the stink eye because they saw it.
Check this out, mother.
Yeah, I am a full peacock mode.
Bad.
Yeah. And anybody who has to play me next is watching me hit this shot, and I nutted it. But okay, you can go from here.
So there's a referee at the table, and that happens to be me. And me and Richard are friends, all right? So
good friends.
Yes, good friends. So we've done a little smack talking, but I don't want to smack talk because it was a great shot. And I look at so he hits I'm calling the shot, and the shot's a beautiful shot, perfect shot, great hit. Just it was beautiful. I mean, it was like the best shot in the world. But I noticed the release on the cue ball.
I had put so much spin on it that once it hit the rail, I took my eye off it, and it was arcing backwards.
It was doing everything he thought it was going to do. He got everything in the shot he was looking for.
I didn't even sell out a shot.
The only problem was the cue ball would not stop rolling, and it was rolling straight through the corner pocket.
Like it had eyes.
So
like it was meant to be.
He's looking around the room away from me, and I turn my back to him, and I go, and the cue ball is probably 6 inches out of the pocket.
Now, let me set this up. There's like 20 people left in the tournament. They're all watching this shot.
Because
because I'm jacked up sitting on the table
It was an amazing shot.
and I blasted it.
ESPN
Now
type
I'm looking
stuff.
at everybody.
Yes.
So the cue ball whoops behind me, but I don't care because
Right.
as soon as it hits another rail, I'm out. I got 2 balls by my pocket. I only need a couple. And from God or from heaven above,
He turns around, and as he's turning around, I've already put my back to him because I don't want to see him smiling. I don't mean to be smiling about the shot because I didn't mean, but it was going to be a foul. He was going to scratch. And so without a delay, without him, with him just starting to come back around, I call foul. He says, foul, and the ball drops in the pocket,
right?
scratches.
And, I mean,
right
it
as
was
he turns around and looks.
it was one of those perfect moments that everybody just was like, oh, what a, oh. Oh.
And it just happened to be me. And it was a great shot. It was not a foul, but he scratched, and therefore it was a foul. And, I probably shouldn't have done it.
No,
I probably should have done it.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, so you're over it.
No, I'm not over it, but I can at least sleep better at night. Not over it.
No. This is a good friend of mine. It's like, and we've busted each other's balls quite a bit. I mean, he's busted my balls a lot. It was a perfect opportunity for me to get him back a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I called foul, and he turns around and looks, and he's like, what? Ah, it's scratched.
And my reaction caused everybody not to react.
Yes.
Because I was overreacting.
Yes.
Because for one, I was in full peacock mode, and then I was completely devastated, and they didn't know if I was going to start crying or.
And I had to turn my back to him because I had the biggest fucking shit-eating grin on my face I've ever had in my life.
It was truly a moment in time.
I apologize for ever doing that in the U.S. Open. It was just a moment that was like,
yeah.
And I told him when I get out, I said, this is a moment we're never going to forget.
It's not what everybody in the room
will never forget it.
The guy I was playing was from France, and I found out about this later.
Alex Montepelli.
Yeah. So he said he went back to France and told people about this shot. Not only couldn't he make it, he couldn't put enough spin on it to scratch. So the shot that he hit was probably one of the best shots he ever seen, and the scratch was just borderline.
He set it up over and over again, just could not figure out how he did that shot.
So that's just how lucky I am. I got a guy who goes to a foreign country and can't repeat the shot that I made. Oh, yeah, he just yelled foul, and the whole world just silence. Like when first time you heard Superman was dead.
And he's ready to cut me off because he had no idea. He didn't see the scratch.
I had won the game in my mind.
In his mind, it was over.
In my game, this was what you call over.
And he's like, "What? You scratched?"
Yeah. No, I know.
Did you have to call it? Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I am rarely.
It was a foul, and I was watching it. Sorry, I had to call it.
It was one of those days. Oh, and it knocked me out of the tournament because the guy ran out.
Oh, by the way, yeah.
He made a nice spot shot and got behind a group of balls that all were in my pocket.
Which I had to hear about for a long time.
Yeah. So every situation you could think of, it was hill. I'm going to win the game. I'm going to move on into the money. Everything you would want in life.
Right.
Yeah. No.
So let's move away from that one.
Thank you. Yeah.
I told you how, So back in the day when you were playing on the tour,
yeah,
you hung out with all the best players in the world, didn't you? I mean,
Johnny
you pretty
Archer,
much know
Tony
them all,
Allen.
right?
I know 90% of them. Yeah.
Yeah, 90% of players.
Yeah.
And so, is there any good stories you got from back in that day that were that you would talk about? Like,
yeah, I enjoyed watching and playing against some of the best players, but they were the greatest people that I knew. They were never anybody. Yeah, they were solid individuals.
So would you consider, like, did they look at their community as family? Like, were you guys kind of like family in a way?
We were family that didn't get along. That's the way I would put it. Everybody has that uncle that touched them, right? Okay, yeah, he's my uncle, but we don't sit next to him during.
7 siblings, so trust me.
Yeah, no, because we were trying to make a living, right?
Yeah.
So you have to look at it a little different. I love Johnny Archer. Had a hard time beating him. I could, and I did, but not very often. There's players that I just saw the draw, and I'm like, oh, I'm in his bracket. Great. How much can I pay my rent this week?
Can I get there? Can I get to the cash?
Yeah. I never beat Efren, and I never beat Earl. But I've beaten Nick Varner, Mike Siegel, Buddy Hall, Jimmy Rempe, and that's murderer's row, I know.
Right.
But I
100%.
mean, that's a Hall of Fame list of players.
Sure.
Had I stayed on tour, who knows how many? I'd had 3 wins, such a deal. But it was a life that I would not give up.
Were you married at the time?
Yes.
You were already married. How long have you been married now?
38 years.
38 years.
Yeah. But I grew up with my wife. I met my wife when we were 6, and we were arranged then between her mom and dad and my mom and dad. So it just.
What's your American Indian?
Yes.
What's your tribe?
It's called Wintu. It's Wintu. We're from California. And it's odd that you would mention that because even today, when I go to tournaments, people don't remember me so much. Some people do, but they remember my wife's hair that drags the ground. They're like, "Oh, you're that guy who's got the wife who's hair." I'm like, "You don't remember me? I was top 50 in the world at one time, Jack. You don't remember me?"
Oh, I'm sure everybody back in the day loved women with long, beautiful hair.
Yeah,
right. So,
yeah, it still drags the ground today.
But you've known her since you were 6?
Yeah, her family moved next to mine when we were 6 years old. We went to school together.
Did you live? Is that? I'm assuming you grew up on the reservation in California.
Yeah. There's a casino there now.
There is.
Yeah.
Are you part of it in any way, shape, or form?
I own it. Yeah.
So calling you Chief Richard.
Yeah. I was a prince for 38 years, 36 years, something like that.
Yeah.
But now that my dad has passed, after 101 years of life, a good full
101?
life. 101 years.
So you got, what, 40 more to go?
I don't know about that. Not if I got my friends calling fouls on me all day. I can make 2 of those, maybe. Maybe I got 2 left.
That took 10 years off your life. Right?
At least. I
didn't want to.
It could have been 20 pounds. That would have been nice, but no. Good Lord. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, tell me some stories, man. I know you got some stories about these guys. I mean, you don't have to go. They can be PG. I'm all right with PG.
Oh, no. I got both. I got a cute story I'll tell you about Nick Varner.
Okay.
We're in Tennessee, and the manufacturer of this chair company is the sponsor of the tournament.
Okay.
Nick Varner gets in the finals. He's going to play Mike Siegel. 1998, I think it was, right around there. And they're older gentlemen, they're older statesmen, so it's nice to have these 2 in the finals. And they ask Nick Varner, "Well, what do you think about the chairs?" And he goes, "They're beautiful chairs. I just can't make any money when I'm sitting in them." I thought that was the greatest line. He said it with a straight face. I'm not sure he understood who he was talking to at the time, but it was what a line. They're great chairs, very comfortable.
Which is an old school way of saying somebody's running out on and they're kicking my ass on the pool table. So if I can't get there and play,
I never forgot that. I was like, wow, what a thing to say
to
at that
sponsor.
time. Yeah.
And was it on TV?
No.
Okay.
No, it was just a local company. That was hilarious. Yeah, stuff like that just makes me giggle. I used to gamble with Keith McCready. Okay. That was a riot. He would make me laugh. I didn't care if I lost. After about 2 or 3 hours, I'd be so happy. It's just a character. We don't have those characters on the tour right now. We got a bunch of robots, which is unfortunate. I'm trying to
think of any of them. There's really not.
Yeah, the personalities was what we had.
It's gone.
With phenomenal shot making. Now we've got just phenomenal shot making. So.
Very square, and I tell you, it's almost like it's carbon fiber. It's like carbon fiber shafts. It's like it's going to be square in and out.
Yeah.
You got no deflection you can work with. No craziness. No.
Yeah, if you were practicing, you were gambling. That was just the life.
That was the game.
It didn't matter what it was for. Nobody tried to high roll anybody. We're all in the same boat. We're all trying to get gas money to the next tournament. As a matter of fact, we have a tournament here at Griff's. Jay Swanson. The reason why I play in that tournament is because I knew Jay. As a young tour player, I did not know much about pool. I just knew I could shoot. Right? I could make balls.
Right.
We're in Texas. The next tournament's in New York. I didn't make the money.
Ooh.
So I go down to pay my room, and I can pay my room, and I got enough gas money to get home. I can't go to the next tournament because if I don't make, it's in New York. I live in California. If I don't make money in New York, I'm stuck. I have nowhere to go. So when I got down to the tournament desk, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna sign up. I'm going home.
Right.
They're like, no, you're fine. You'll make it the next tournament. I said, I don't have enough money. So I go downstairs to the front desk for the register to the hotel. Somebody had paid my room. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. I don't understand. This got to be a mistake. So I haven't checked. And they're like, well, who was it? It was anonymous. So the next tournament I go to, somebody told me Jay Swanson had heard that I hadn't enough money.
Right.
Now that kept me on tour for about 4 more years because I won a tournament, I did well, and I got to the established.
Yeah.
But had that not happened, from just a sheer
So
generosity,
you're saying Jay paid your
my room,
really?
and that gave me the money to go to New York, where I cashed, and the next tournament I cashed, the next tournament I won. And that had that not happened, that for some reason,
That one little thing.
yeah, that random act of kindness
And so
saved this young tour
when I'm
player.
talking about family on tour, that right
Yes.
there, he's family right now.
Yes,
Like he's
yes.
a brother
We've had
for sure.
We've had 50 dinners after that,
Yes.
maybe more.
How much you appreciate
Yeah,
what he did
and
that,
I
that
only
moment.
play in that tournament simply because of his name. And
Yes.
and Johnny Archer, same thing. He helped Johnny. He told him some center ball stuff.
So that's what put him so far on the map.
Yeah, Jay Swanson was a phenomenal player, but he was a much better person. When they call him the gentleman, the giant,
Yes.
the giant, it's because of who he was, not what he could do with a pool cue.
So in that moment where you were at a point of
that was definitely a crossroads.
you're crossroads, either playing on or being done.
Yeah. Now I imagine that I'm a wife with a small child.
Yes.
So that just doesn't work. That stuff doesn't happen.
Yes.
But he did that, and that's why I was able to spend that many years on tour playing. It's not. See, this is one of the rubs I have again. In the 80s, when I was playing my best, first place was 10,000.
Right.
Today, in tournaments, first place is 10,000. That's 40 years of no
nothing.
improvement. No corporate sponsors, no industry outside of pool fixing stuff. So I enjoy these tournaments they have like this, but also I enjoy the fact that I would not do it again the way I did it. No, I mean, I would go and play. I had a great life. I'm not complaining about my life. I'm just complaining about that there should have been some kind of an evolution. Some kind of evolution for pool. That would have been nice. I think the characters could have stayed out there longer to make it a cutoff for place. The older generation.
Do you think that has any effects to do with kind of some of the things that happened here in Las Vegas where they think some of the top players might have thrown games here and there, and
I've heard that.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't associate with people like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I refuse to
be a part of that crowd.
Yeah, the people that I was around were pretty solid, and I wouldn't say at all they would ever do that.
Right.
Efren, Earl, Johnny, Tony Ellen. They wouldn't even think of it.
Right.
They were truest to the form of pool. They love pool.
You do know what instance I'm talking about,
sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna bring it up because it was the.
It did happen.
And
it does happen, but it's unfortunate, and I wouldn't.
Because that really was at the point where it was starting to actually catch some momentum, where they had the casinos and everybody get involved and actually started building it up.
Yeah.
And then that kind of like just poof.
Yeah, it puts the dagger in it, and it's unfortunate. Players tend to do things where they step on their own foot, and that would be one of them.
Ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be one of those things I would say is the reason why when I played for 10,000 and today they play is because of the evolution. There's too many roadblocks like that.
And
that's needless.
This is the thing I see, and I hear it all the time, and I see it where people say, you got to help each other out. You got to help each other out. But when they're really doing stuff, everything they're doing, you watch them, and everything they're doing is strictly for themselves.
Yeah.
They're not out there, doing what Jay did for you. Like there's people out there doing that. They don't, and it's everything they're doing is strictly for themselves. Even though they're saying, "Oh, it's a community, we should do it together," but then what are you doing for the community?
Yeah, it's true. In the 60s, the highest paid professionals were bowlers.
Yes.
And what happened?
Sure.
TV came along and Arnold Palmer came along. So now golf and tennis, because it's televised, they were able to unionize to the point where they weren't technically a union. They were more like an advisory board.
Sure.
Pool did not do that. They tried it twice. It didn't work twice. Simply because things like that happen.
And somebody else fighting against them. They're not wanting,
I want to be president. I want to be in charge.
Sure. I know there was a professional Players Association, PBA.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was 90s. Late 80s,
late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, that was when I retired.
And they had a tour, so there
was things about that just didn't work.
Right.
Because the players were
Oh, then
too
there
selfish.
was like a mutiny, a group of players that tried to
Yeah,
create something counter to it because they didn't like what was going on there.
Well, they wanted a bonus pool.
Oh,
There was
what's that?
So they got a $2 million contract to run tournaments,
Okay.
and the president, who had just started, decided that he was going to go in and ask for even more. They just gave us $2 million to play these tournaments, and was going to pay for things. He's like, that's not enough, and they're like, okay, we'll go find another sport, and it just pretty much ended pool as a regional
Is that
sport.
what happened?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So those players in that, it was like 5 of them.
Do you know who was putting up the money? Just chance? Not who was. I don't want to know the names of the players because I kind of know those names too, and I'm trying.
Yeah, Bud Light.
Oh, it was Bud Light.
Yeah, it was Bud Light.
Oh, that's right. Bud Light was doing a lot back then.
Yeah, they were making commercials with Steve Miserak, and they decided that he was such a nice person.
And they were putting on tournaments. I remember, like qualifiers and stuff to where you come to Vegas.
They had a huge tournament here in Las Vegas called the Bud Light. Yeah.
Yeah, my brother qualified for that actually.
Yeah.
They
had another one too. They had a last call for 9-ball, which was a really fun tournament. You couldn't play safe. If you played safe, the other opponent got ball in hand. Jose Perica actually won that, and I think Earl Strickland won that one.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a great tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just total offense, which was a beautiful thing.
Aggressive pool play. I'm sure Earl Strickland loved that.
He did.
That's his style of pool right there.
And at that time, he could cut balls better than surgeons. Yeah, it was great.
Thin.
Yeah.
Like there's no scarring from there.
No, the leader of the invasion, Jose Perica, also won that tournament doing the same thing. He just ran out. Why play safe? I'm just going to run out. And he did. So it was amazing. Yeah, and those types of things happen. And now today they don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that kind of got started after Mike Siegel became the safety king.
Yeah, Captain Hook. Yeah.
Captain Hook. I think it was Mr. Captain Hook.
Yeah, he was famous for that.
And that's kind of boring. It's boring type of.
It was, but yeah, if the uninitiated would think it was boring.
Right.
They're like, why he just make this ball? Because it's tough. That's why I didn't play for my house payment.
And he's using knowledge over the fact that this is what I need to do here.
So to combat Captain Hook, they decided to try the short cue, which I was totally opposed to. But at the time, if anybody had a short cue, I wanted to play him. Because that just means
What do you mean by short cue?
The jump cue.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to ask you. The jump cue.
Yeah, the jump cue started right when about Mike Siegel, Nick Barner started winning everything. So,
well, I know before that, but you just used their shaft. They take their shaft off and use their shaft.
Yeah, so they made that illegal. All these rules to make things a little tougher.
Sarge was over. He told me that they turned it to a 40-inch rule where it had to be at least 40 inches long.
Yeah. I didn't mind it when I could get out also.
Yes.
Go ahead, play safe. I don't care.
Right.
Because I was playing Filipinos and I learned how to kick. I learned to play billiards, 3-cushion billiards.
Right.
And it really helped me adapt.
Diamond system and
kick, and you were never going to get ball in hand and
that type of stuff. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, there was an advantage. Not only playing billiards, I kicked in 1987 and 1988. I kicked in more 9-balls than anybody else because people playing
9-ball.
Playing 9-ball, yeah. Because not only did I hit the ball from the 3-cushion billiards, I knew where everything was going.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is right in the path of the 9-ball.
You're going to play the left side of the 9-ball to make it and come off that 2 rails to position. Or
a lot of people just think just because you're behind the ball, you're safe, you're going to get ball in hand.
No.
I was winning games from that spot simply because I was out thinking people. And that's the true strength of 9-ball. If you can outthink somebody.
We come back again to the knowledge of the game. It's almost like one pocket. One pocket is a lot about you got to make balls, but it's a lot about moving.
Strategic, yes.
Like if like you're saying, it looks like a boring game to a lot of people, or they don't have the patience for it. But
it's an amazing thing to learn, patience.
Oh my God! And the knowledge just to be able to move where that patience looks flawless, like it's simple. It's like, what do? You just rolled that ball there and moved that ball there, and now there's nothing.
Yeah, the biggest fault I see in people who play one pocket today is they leave too many balls by the side pocket, and that blocks a lot of long rail banks.
Sure.
Not only is it long rail banks, it's moving the cue ball down table. Now your opponent can do it, and you can't. So that's the biggest flaw. And people is just, well, he just did this. This just happened.
Yeah.
If you leave a ball by the side pocket, you're trying to dare a guy to outmove you because now you have to outshoot him because you got.
Are you talking about your side pocket or their side pocket?
My side pocket.
So if you're shooting and you leave a ball by your side pocket, it kind of blocks you and gives them an opportunity to bank it in.
Yes, or move.
Or
Like they
just
can make a
move.
mistake and leave one down table.
Oh
and
yeah,
now I
because
can't shoot it.
they're safe. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the key. And 9-ball is a very strategic game also when it comes to that. So people just play safe. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, the path of the cue ball after it hits this ball is dead in line with the 9. And that's what happened. They're like, oh, you're just lucky. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'll take that.
Well, listen, I've seen some of the best players in the world. People say you're lucky,
Yeah.
and they usually just say thank you
Yeah.
because they know that they hit that
Takes
ball
work.
good in the position and all that was all part of their.
And that comes from 3 cushion billiards. So to become a better 9-ball player, it's always adapt to learn to 8-ball, one pocket.
Other games.
Yeah. Yeah. Much harder.
Which is what I was taught. Like the first, listen, I'm not saying I didn't gamble at 8-ball and playing 5 hours a game or something back in the
Sure,
80s.
Gentleman's bet. There's nothing wrong with that.
Just and back then $5 a game was for me was good. So
I remember those days.
I could make a couple
I
$100
remember those days.
you know. But then the first game that I actually started playing better players than me was Banks. That's like I really, as a kid,
Yeah.
I was taught Banks by a guy named Ralph Curry, and it was just it was his way of coaching. It was me paying my dues. We'd play cheap, and he'd give me crazy weight, like maybe 3 to whatever. Yeah, it was like I would go to 3, and he'd go to 7 or something. And it's kind of like the way it still is. I hate to say it, like nothing's changed all these years, but to me it was great. I got to play. And so I started playing a lot of Banks. And that's why I was a little upset when I played in that qualifier. I did it 2 years in a row. In the first year, I did it just so I could play in it, so I had a shot at going to the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
You weren't in that one. And
so you won at least one match?
No, I got freaking like I was expecting like 8 or 10. And I got like 25. I had to run.
Wow.
I couldn't play it. I had to run it, so I didn't get to play in it. So this last year, it's like I had to jump in it just to have enough to qualify somebody.
You made it to the finals.
I got to the 5, and I got through Ernie Rivas and Chico, or
2 really nice bankers.
2 good bankers.
Yeah.
To have to meet.
Yeah.
My nemesis right here. I think that's why he beat me so bad, and that was for the payback for the.
That particular day.
You're hitting them good.
Yeah, that just was one of those days where the balls were ending up in my favor a lot.
And when I did the stream of your 10 shots, people were like, "Oh my God, what the frick is that?" But it was so many people were amazed by all the shots you made, and dude, I was like, yeah, because you made some really nice 3-railers, and it was just so clean. And like the one, to this day. It was a 3-railer to the side, right?
Yeah.
So it was short, or long, short, long, right? And it was so tight. And you kept looking at it. You're like, man, I think that goes because it was a tight.
It was
for you to hit
the ball was froze to the rail.
Yeah, and so you had to hit it
really thin double kiss.
Yes.
So just to get away from the double kiss to make the ball long enough to get it to the side.
Yeah, and you're
was
saying,
what I was looking at.
I can make this ball. I can make, and you're like, nah, maybe not. Maybe I should do something else. And you look around the table, and then you look back at it, and you get like. No, I can make this one. I can make it. And it's like you were just like, making
See,
sure.
that's what I was talking about earlier in our conversation where your eyes can betray you. My mind said, yeah, this ball goes.
Right.
This ball goes. But my eyes kept saying there's an automatic double kiss.
Because it was tight. It was really a tight. It was a freaking really amazing shot. I think that's sure what the people are talking about when they say about how great shots you made. And then finally you said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. You said in your mind, it's like, you know what?
The mind
I know it goes. I'm going to do this.
The mind will win out.
And the
whole
time I'm thinking, oh, he's going to double kiss. I'm going to get a chance here.
Yeah,
and then the ball went just as clean and perfect. And it wasn't to the right side of the pocket. It wasn't to the left. It was in the center of the freaking pocket. And at that point right there, I was like.
Yeah, that was fun. I made a couple of really nice long rail banks too.
I can tell you, after that day, I got on the table and I worked on those 3-rail shots right there. Fuck it, I hit 1,000 and suck. I didn't did it when there was nobody here.
They are a valuable shot.
I never did it in front of nobody. But when there was nobody here, I'd be up there hitting that ball 1,000 times up on the table. It's like,
because you'll find, especially in banks, somebody will jaw a ball and the cue ball will just get spit out, or the object ball will get spit out.
Yes.
And it ends up in like a perfect 3-rail position.
And yes, and so that shot really pushed me to learn that a little more about it. I mean, I'm still not as accurate as you are. Like the 3-railer and the 4-rail shot.
Yeah.
I still trying to get somebody to tell me what their aiming point is on that shot.
Yeah, that shot needs to be hit crisp. The key to that shot is to make sure you hit the 3rd diamond before the side pocket. From there, it goes right in. But a
The
lot of
third
people,
diamond before this. Oh, so if you're coming this way from this short rail into this one, you're trying. Your whole angle is to get that ball to hit the third diamond.
yeah, yeah, third diamond from the side pocket, in front of the side pocket,
Yeah,
it will go. It will go, or at least it'll be relatively close. Yeah.
So that's
A lot of people think it's a speed shot. No, you just got to get it to the third diamond.
so that's your aiming point.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
I
that
aim
gives me
for the.
I'm gonna work on that now.
It's a very simple system, but it comes from three cushion billiards.
Sure.
Yeah, that system comes from three
Diamond
cushion.
system.
Yeah, and it makes the ball much easier. But that's what I'm saying. You learn other games, you get more knowledge than you think. You're like, oh, okay, I understand what's going on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's at this level, I would think would.
I have
be
to say, I've always been open to playing other stuff.
Yeah.
I played 14-1. I'll play. I think 14-1 is great for you. Have the yips. Like every once in a while you get the yips or lower level players at the yips.
Yeah.
Play some 14-1. Everything's supposed to be easy.
Supposed to be.
And if you're missing balls,
Yeah, a lot of times when you miss a ball, it's simply from concentration.
focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Sure.
you'll miss so many easier shots, or people will think are easier. And I tell people constantly, nobody's not missed. Everybody's missed
Sure.
a tap in. Everybody's missed a tap in.
I better turn around here and look at what we got going on here. So this is a winner's side. It is a race to 9. Paul's up 5-2. So we got a battle going on here.
Good. It's a race to 9.
It is a race to 9.
Okay, I've noticed so far not too many people have scratched on the break, so that means they put some time in on the break.
Yeah. So
Now, when I was on tour, it was an afterthought. I wish I'd have practiced the break more. I wish I would have learned how to get the balls into a spot. The best match I've ever seen was Donnie Mills playing, and he had the same shot on the 1, playing 10 ball.
Okay.
In a race to 100,
over and over
80 times.
out of
100 games of 10 ball, he had the 1 and the cue ball in line for the same shot 80 times. That's how you break. It was
I'm
amazing.
assuming that was down in Florida.
Yes.
Because he is out of Florida for sure.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
one of the Florida boys.
He's a phenomenal shot maker, but from that spot he started from, it was pretty. He made it look pretty, but the break is something that's a mystery to me. From my era, nobody practiced the break. We all tried to be pretty.
Which we know right now, like the person who practices it the most
is
Ian Costello. Now he's moved off and he said he figured it out. So he figured out what he's doing. He finally figured it out.
After about 12 years that I've known him here in Las Vegas.
I saw him
25
for
years
a
I've known
month breaking 150 times a day at least.
Yeah, and not just here. He goes to other pool halls and tries on other equipment. He puts the time in. I did not.
So I asked him. I said, are you trying to get position play? What is all those breaks about? Sarge?
How we doing?
We're just chatting away.
Enjoying. Yeah, we forgot we were talking about pool.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
We were talking about, who was it that you said that created basically the first jump cue?
The gentleman that created the first jump cue, I cannot tell you his name, but the guy that created the frog,
okay,
his name was Phil.
Okay.
And he was going to Hard Times Bellflower when the Markulises owned it. And I got a chance to hit with the first one ever developed by him. And I took and I put a piece of chalk on the table, about 3/4 diamond out from the short rail, racking in. Put a ball way up in the top corner up there, and then I put the cue ball almost froze to the rail, okay? And I took and I put a ball on top of the chalk. And I shot that into the table, jumped over the ball and the chalk, and made the ball in the corner pocket.
With the frogger. With the
frog.
I keep calling it frogger. He straightened me out earlier. I thought for sure.
I keep telling the frogger was
it's a video game.
It's a video game. That's exactly
I used to
what
play
he
it
said.
also, yeah.
Don't let the frogger squash.
So now I just say I have the tadpole because I know the tadpole's the correct name for the smaller version of it.
That is correct
for sure. I have 2 of them actually. I had more.
I've never used in competition a jump cue.
Ever.
In the 45 years I've been playing pool, I've never used the jump cue in competition. But again, talking about Pat Fleming and AccuStats, I used to hit a lot of balls, kicking and using the systems and stuff. And from 1986 to 1988, I gave up the fewest ball in hands of anybody on the tour.
And that was part of it. And that was their stats
hitting.
they kept?
Yeah. Yeah, they kept amazing stats. It was something. Yeah. Now
And
I
that
wish
was-
I'd turned those into wins. But yeah, I mean, just because I hit the ball didn't mean I didn't sell out a shot. But I didn't give up ball in hand. I had the fewest basic ball in hands I gave up. And I'm talking about playing Johnny Archer, Efren Reyes, Earl Strickland, Jimmy Rempe, Jimmy Reed. Yeah, they would hook me and then just stay near the table because I knew I was going to hit the ball. They just didn't know where it was going to go. But like I said, learning other games, the free cushions and banks is very valuable. Very, very valuable. And
I
I
agree.
kicked in the most balls. Like I said, I kicked in the most 9 balls because it's just I knew where the cue ball was going to flow to. And if the 9 was in the way, just hit a little harder. Ooh, give it a ride. They don't call it break and run out. They call it 9 ball.
And people say it's money for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hardest working players in the world, pool players for sure.
Yeah, it was a hell of a time. I had a great time. Had a good life. I just wish I could make more balls now. It's a young man's game these days.
So Earl Strickland,
I knew Earl for 20 years before I ever heard him laugh.
what?
Yeah, he never laughed around me. He was always so serious.
He's just,
Yeah. We were in Norfolk, Virginia, and Corey Deuel had said something. We all went out to lunch,
yeah.
and I heard Earl laugh, and it freaked me out. I was like, I've never heard you laugh, ever. And then he laughed about me never hearing him laugh. I'm like, you're scaring me, Earl. You're scaring me.
Did he have a beer that day or something?
I think he did.
That's what I'm saying.
I've never had one, but I was like, wow, 22 years. I never heard him laugh. And we went to dinners. We went out. We traveled together. We rode to tournaments together. We caravanned and stuff. But I never heard him laugh.
All right, so what about Johnny Archer?
I heard him laugh all the time. He laughs like a girl. He runs like a girl and laughs like a girl.
I can see him running like a girl. Honest to God, you look at him, I can see how he runs.
He runs with his palms down.
What? No, like this?
Yes.
Like,
he
really?
runs with his palms down. And it's like if you were trying to run across a lake on lily pads.
Sure.
That's what it looks like he's doing.
Like a frog.
Like he's just trying to tiptoe. It's hilarious.
Never seen him run.
I've never seen him run.
Count
But
yourself lucky
I believe it's
because you would watch it and just
I can visually see it when you say it. It's like it comes to my brain.
He was let's see, he was 16 when I met him.
Okay, how old were you?
I was
26 maybe?
No, I wasn't quite that old. I might have been 23.
Oh, how old is he now?
He's 5 years younger than me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was right around my 20s. But I met him in Reds in Houston.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and we were in this tournament. Neither one of us were old enough to be in the place, but we were playing in the tournament because it was a bar. It was basically like Griff's.
Yeah, which year?
Huh?
Which year?
1980. I'm gonna say 2. I'm guessing.
Well, that was before
Jose came.
Efren came.
Yeah, Efren came in 84. Jose came in 82. But I knew of Efren before because Jose used to say there's somebody coming who's better.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand what that meant, watching this little guy who could barely get his eyes above the table and just running out from everywhere, challenging anybody and everybody to play 10 ahead for 10,000. And the first 75 times I heard that, either he didn't get a match or he won the match quite quickly, which was amazing to me. First time I actually saw somebody play was in 1986 in Reno, Nevada. He comes in a squeaky little voice and he says, I'm not playing anybody for 10,000 after these last matches. Mike Siegel's in there, Buddy Hall's in there, Jim Rip. So I'm figuring one of these guys is going to step up. They're not going to let this little guy just say that. So
And this is Efren?
No, this is Jose.
Was it pretty good?
Yeah, so I go in, I get a match, I grab my little soda, and I'm ready to watch some pool.
All right.
Not one of those guys showed up. He sat and hit balls for 2 hours and just went to bed. Nobody showed up. Jimmy Reed, nobody showed up.
Jose had a lot of heart.
No, he played here in the U.S. Open a couple years ago.
Yeah,
That was great. Nicest guy in the world.
His little stroke is just as powerful today as it was then.
He played really well.
Yeah.
I don't know how old he is, but he played really well.
Yeah, it was amazing to watch.
So Jose's in his 70s.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Efren is 68 or 69, I think.
Yeah.
August 26th is his birthday.
Yeah. I was not in Reds in '84 when Efren came. He's funny because the guy who I'm not a big fan of, and we don't see eye to eye. His name is Billy and Cardona. He told me about Efren, and so I'm like, "You're a world champion. What are you saying?" He goes, "Oh no, this is what I'm going to do." Billy says, "I'm going to ask for this ridiculous spot. I'm going to ask for 3 ahead, race of 7, and the 7, right? And if he gives it to me, I'm gonna beat him." And I said, "All right, whatever." I didn't want to hear it. About a year later, I see Billy, and he's talking about Efren. I said, "Hey, by the way, whatever happened?" Because I knew. I said, "Whatever happened to that match? You're going to get the break, the 7, and the race of 7 for 10,000." He goes, "I don't want to talk about it." I said, "Well, did you play?" He goes, "Yeah, I played. Efren beat me." Given a former world champion, he used to be called the Mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Given a former
world champion.
Let me talk to this guy right here. So, Decade, aren't you Eric? And did you show up here at Griff's looking for me? Just trying to get a little, because no, he won. I believe he won one of the $25 gift certificates. I believe. Right, maybe he's not on anymore.
So I grew up watching Efren, but my teacher was Jose Perica. I learned a system of not just pool, but life, which has turned me from I hate to say this because I was a little rude and arrogant when I was young, and it changed with him because he's such a powerful influence on who I became. People who don't like me to my face, and I take that as a sign of respect. You never hear, "Oh, did you hear what this guy said behind your back?" You don't ever hear that about me, and that's because of the influence of Jose Perica. When I shake somebody's hand, win or lose, I make sure they understand you shook hand with a man, and I'm happy for you whether you won or lost. I hope your life goes on and as well.
Exactly.
That's from Jose. I didn't have that before. I didn't. I was a little bit of a mongrel.
You were you?
Yeah, I was arrogant. I didn't know anything, but I thought I knew everything.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I was rough. I was
rough. Worse than this?
Way worse.
Wow.
Way worse.
Wow.
Yeah, the people who knew me back then would walk right by me without saying a word. They wouldn't recognize me.
Now?
Yeah. But that's because of his influence. He was such a powerful individual that I had no choice but to listen and obey. And it wasn't a fear like a fear of the son. It was more of a fear of, I don't want to let this guy down.
A father-son type of thing.
Yes. Very much so.
Where he's now become your mentor.
Yeah. I happily call him my master. He taught me more than just pool. How to treat people.
Which is the way it should be anyway.
Sure. And that's what I was saying about you just get a lot of robots today. There's no characters out there. There's nobody helping the next generation. So in this little video thing, I should hope that somebody would step up and say, "You know what? This level of players needs somebody to look up to."
Listen, it's kind of why I'm doing this. When the Billiard Head page, when I first made it was all about showing history of pool, and I'm not going to say what happened, but one of the people here in town went in there and cried to YouTube about it, and so they didn't cancel it my page, but they just wanted me to change up what I was doing, which all I was doing was showing. I had like all these old videos from the 80s and 90s, and so I'm just throwing clips out there. Like, look, this is the history of billiards.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why I'm doing Griffs now. And I'm completely different now. I'm trying to bring it live.
Yeah.
Instead of bringing the old clips, I could get you guys in here and let's talk about billiards.
Yes, Sarge's got a wealth of knowledge about pool
he's been smacking me all morning with it. You kidding me? All morning. It's been great. Yeah. Did Stefano leave or did Stefano leave? Did Stefano?
I didn't see Stefano.
Oh yeah, he walked right over by you. You didn't see him? He was here earlier. He walked right over by you. You were over there talking.
He went right to you. That's where we thought he went.
Actually. I thought you guys were over there talking. That's what I figured you were doing.
That's funny.
Yeah, 100%. I was good. I thought.
He's right there. That's him right there, right?
Where?
I can't see the monitor in the way.
Oh yeah, it is. He's over there talking to Mr. Louisiana. Yes, it is. You didn't even see it yet?
No,
I thought he was over there talking to you.
I wonder if he saw me. No.
No, he was coming right over there. You were probably talking to somebody, so he just gave you a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. I thought for sure they were talking.
That's funny.
He sent me a photo. What's the? Oh, it might be the money. We might have the money. Let's see what the money's going to be today. That might be what he did.
Show me the money.
Yeah, show us the money.
Show him that 10 shots that Richard made in the final. Show him that.
Dude, I should. Oh, yeah, it's the money. Here we go. Wait a minute. What?
Holy mackerel. That's a boatload. That's a boatload.
525 and under.
Wow. I'm glad somebody's doing this. Just to, like I said, this level of player needs a mentor. Can you imagine being a young kid playing in these and then trying to figure out what pool would do for your life?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, pool.
Can you imagine being 21? Let's say you're on the road, right?
Yeah.
And come in and play one of these tournaments here because
you make it in the money. You've made it. You made it.
68
I pay for
grand,
next
dude.
3. Yeah.
That'll get you through a couple weeks for
Yeah.
sure, right? Especially you're on the road.
Yeah. That's the time to do it.
Let's see.
That is definitely the time to do it.
Yeah, so man, I got to post that in a minute. Wow, that's just crazy. We got a match on here.
What's the score?
6-3. I think that's what it was before.
No, it was 5-2, so they both won a game.
Okay.
And he's banking at this
You
ball.
want some pizza?
No.
Not good.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
Well, I'll never order again from this young lady's cooking because that was horrible.
This was a new cook?
Mm-hmm. Nothing on it. But if you like Cuban sandwiches, did I tell you about the Cuban sandwich here?
No.
Oh my God, dude! It's the #1 Cuban sandwich in all of Nevada. It's not even close. It is so good. Like I'm from Florida, so I know what a Cuban sandwich tastes like. Man, pulled pork or shredded pork. I mean, it's just so fucking good, dude.
Sounds great. Yeah, I thought I had one yet. I thought I had everything on the menu.
Is it on the menu? I'm not even sure. All I know is they told me about it and I ordered it twice.
It might be an extra.
Both times it was delicious.
That'd make more sense if it's an extra or an add-on.
It could be. I'm not even sure. I mean, have they changed the menu?
They change it for special events just to keep it simple.
So the guy that is running the trust that owns Griff's came in and he had a Cuban sandwich here and he just didn't like it. It's like he's another guy. He likes it. So he freaking laid it out and told him this is how you're going to do the Cuban sandwich.
Or you're going to take it off the menu?
Yeah. And it was the best sandwich I've had in a while now. Did you win? The second time, did you win that one? Have you lost yet? I go over there and he says, man, I don't know what it is. I can't play no more.
Welcome to my world.
Anyway, you drove in all the way. You drive in or flew? Flew in from Louisiana. That's it? Fuck, I wish I could get a trip like that.
I know. I just put, I put $40 in gas in my car. And
40?
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, that's a lot of money.
What'd you pay for it? How much per
It was
gallon?
$5. It was $5 a gallon.
In California or here?
Just now, yeah.
No,
just about 2 hours ago.
So
I was like, what is going on here?
So maybe 2 or 3 days ago, or a week ago, I filled up the gas tank. I'm like, man, it's $4.40 or something, right? And I was like, man, this is getting up there.
Yeah.
And
you didn't hear a word. I didn't even think about it.
And I've run most of it out. And I'm gonna wait a couple of days. Maybe the price will drop down. Every time I wait a day, it goes up another 10 cents. It's like the number's ridiculous now. I'm like,
yeah, it was $4.99.9 when I was like, oh, and it was the middle grade, so I wasn't even paying attention.
Oh, but the premium was.
No, it was the middle grade. It wasn't the premium.
Damn.
That's what I said.
Looks like I might have to go buy myself a Sam's Club card because their gas prices are a little better.
Yeah, 6-4. Here we go. Let's see if this guy scratched on the brake. It's the only way he could lose if shooting that good.
Do you know who Atish is?
No.
His son is Adrian, the kid shooting way over there.
Yeah, that was the guy who I played in the finals here in the tournament.
That's his dad.
And he beat me.
That's his dad.
Remember, I was telling you, I grabbed, right when they got ready to take the picture of the two, I grabbed his neck and started shaking it. So they got a picture of that.
So I hate to say this, but I did that to Savannah. I did the same thing.
Oh, did you?
They got the picture.
I was like, ugh. But that's the era I grew up in. It seemed like every tournament we had that some kind of issue. Oh, I hope you play good tomorrow.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I hope you play. Man, that's a great shot to make tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be rooting for you tomorrow. Yeah.
Once I'm out of the tournament, there's
Yeah, no, I hope you play great tomorrow. Or against that guy.
Yes.
Yeah, not against me.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, a lot of people are out there trying to make a living.
It's difficult.
And it's got to be even worse now, right? With the higher prices, everything like you're saying, they're
Yeah.
still not making any more money.
No, it's amazing to me. That's what I tell people. You got to love this game.
Was there any?
It's going to beat you up.
Was there any personal sponsorships like there are now? Like there's a lot of personal sponsorships.
Oh,
but they
sure.
don't do a lot. They'll give you pool cues. They'll give you
Yeah,
stuff.
that's exactly
But
right.
cash is another
You know,
story.
I mean, I hate to say it out loud, but I mean, like Bobby Hunter's a really good player.
Okay.
He sponsored people, but he just gave them cues. You know, he sponsored Tony Chohan for a while. He was a very good player.
Does he make custom cues or what?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But that's what he would do. Give him cues.
Cues and call it a sponsorship.
Yeah. Sometimes they'd let him sell them and split the money, but
Yeah, that happens. That happens actually quite a lot. I've seen them on people online. That's
yeah, that's kind of
But I
more.
ask, it's part of my sponsorship is that
Yeah.
they give me cues and then I
I sell
auction
them.
them off because that's where they're going to get the most money for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've never been to Derby City?
I have not ever.
That's a beautiful thing, Derby City. It's a great place
What time
to go.
of the year is it?
January. It's the third week in January. They
And so when I think Derby City, I think Kentucky.
it's in Louisville.
It's in
Kentucky.
Louisville. Okay.
But now it's in Elizabeth, Indiana, which is across the Ohio River, but they still
But
call
it's
it the
still
Derby
right
City.
there.
Yeah, it's like a 40-minute drive.
And what's like? So I've been to the Expo,
It's
the Philadelphia Expo, a few times
it's
now,
the same, but better.
but even bigger and better. And
Yeah.
so my only issue with at the Expo is that the action room are 7-foot pool tables. I don't get it.
They've got like 3 at Derby City, but they've got 125 diamond
Nines.
9-foot tables. Yeah.
Everybody like there was a group that was playing on the 7-foot tables, but there was also like 2 9-foot tables just outside in somebody's expo in a booth,
Hmm.
and that's where all the action was. People were looking. They had groups of 75 people watching a match
Yeah,
out on the
Derby-
9-foot tables.
Derby City is an action place. You can get a game for $10,000. You can get a game for $5, and I enjoy that very much because it's open to everybody.
Yes.
And they play 3 games. They play banks, 9-ball, and 1-pocket. So those 3 games are basically the staples of pool now.
So as in the tournament they do.
Yeah, but every day there's a game you can either watch, bet on, or maybe you can play. And of course, the greatest players of all time show up every year.
So the U.S. Opens that are being played here is 10-ball, 8-ball, 1-pocket, and banks.
Yes.
So if you were to eliminate 1 or 2 of those, which should be eliminated?
Personally, I think the 8-ball should be eliminated.
Just eliminate the 8-ball, right?
Yeah.
That's
It's,
okay.
It's yeah. I mean, if you were going to play another tournament, I would play straight pool. It's just as dead. 14-1 is just as dead as 8-ball.
Yes.
I mean, you hardly even see that being played in bars today.
On bar box tables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are dinosaur games.
Okay. Just because it's questions and that. All right. So, but keep the 10-ball banks in 1-pocket
Yeah.
because
I
our
think those
still
are the-
staples of
Yeah.
of the pros.
Sure.
Okay.
And again, like I said, if you're going to expand in different games, what's wrong with banks?
Yeah, nothing. I love banks.
Yeah, I do too.
So-
But it took me a while.
Yes.
Coming from a 9-ball background, it took me a long, long time.
So I use I guess it's called fractional aiming, and it's kind of it's just center cue ball to a point on the object ball.
Do you know where your center is, though?
So I've hit so many balls out there. I've gotten to the point where I'm which mine is actually, I have to aim a little bit to the right.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and when I
The
first
ball will
started
tell
doing
you
it,
what you're supposed to be doing.
when I first started doing it, I thought it was going center,
Yeah,
and
everybody does.
I was always tight. So the minute I went center right, it started opening up and making the balls. It's one of the things that I had to.
Yeah, pool's a mystery when it comes
Which
to
I
stuff
never
like
thought
that.
about until you said something to me. Until you just said this, it just made me realize what was going on there.
Sure.
Because I kept fighting it. kept fighting and it kept fighting and it was kept being tight and tight and tight. I was like, oh man, what's going on here?
That's the key. That's truly the key. If you learn from people who don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
you'll make their mistakes.
Yes.
And then you'll think, okay, I'm just either a bad player or I don't know what I'm doing. Well, fix it.
Jim Lewis was one that helped me out really on and learning this aiming because it just, after I lost my eyesight in my right eye, man, it was just so, for 10 years, I picked up pool cue twice. I was just so fucking frustrated.
Yeah.
Frustrated. Just hated life.
Yeah.
And sat at home. I didn't do nothing. And I'm a very competitive person. I know it doesn't seem like it because I'm easygoing and I'm laughing and having fun.
Well,
but man,
I am
on
too.
the table, I'm competitive. I want to win.
Most people don't realize you're going to play like you practice. If you practice really laxed,
yes,
even when you try to concentrate, you're going to frustrate yourself because you have to practice it. In the 1980, I was struggling, but I was thinking to myself, okay, it'll come around. And Jimmy Rempe came to me and he told me something I didn't think of. He says, you have to practice concentrating. And it didn't make any sense to me. But I went home and I told my wife, you're going to come to the pool hall and you're going to talk to me while I'm playing. Don't touch me. Don't bump into me. Just talk to me.
Distract you.
Yeah. Do whatever you can do to make sure I'm paying attention to what I'm doing and not what you're doing. I don't want to feel like I'm ignoring you, but right. I need to practice because in tournaments, sometimes somebody drops a drink, somebody just coughs.
It happens.
Sometimes you don't know you've lost your concentration.
And you might be shooting through it and lose it.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. What do you do when you've lost it? How do you recover? Or how do you not understand it?
So the one thing I know that when I'm bringing out my competitive and my best pool, I'm not talking. I'm very quiet.
I used to be the same way, but I'm not now. Now I don't.
It doesn't matter.
No. But when I was younger, I could do both.
I get distracted. If like somebody comes over and starts talking to me when I'm I was playing some money here on this table a couple of days ago, and I'm playing a kid. Man, he's in this tournament and he's been kicking ass in this tournament, and I just and I was being quiet and I was whooping on him. And then Charlie came over and sat down right between the two of us. Yeah. And then that was it. I was done. I was like
yeah, if you don't practice either understanding that you're not paying attention or you lose it, then where do you go from there? And that's what makes a pre-shot routine so important. Yeah. There's two things I teach everybody. Nobody listens, which is fine. But it's pre-shot routine and breathing.
And breathing.
Breathing, yeah.
I do feel that when I'm under pressure, if I just step up and take a really good deep breath and then blow that, I can settle into my match. And I feel like I'm just settling right when I go down, right? So
sure, and that's exactly what's happening. It's a focus.
Yeah.
Everything you have is to focus. But if you don't focus, then what do you have?
Have you ever done any meditation or anything?
Oh yeah, I used to meditate with Ephraim a lot.
Oh, with Ephraim?
Yeah, I learned a lot from Ephraim. I was once in a room with Ephraim for 8 hours where he was staring at a candle.
Serious?
8 hours straight. Me and Jose went to dinner.
Yes.
And then came back to the room, and he was still staring at a candle for 8 hours straight before the tournament. And by the way, he won that tournament.
Of course he did.
Yeah, he was practicing his focus and breathing.
Amazing. Yes.
Yeah. But he had that stare. I had it too after I learned why. But
so I don't want to.
It's a mental strength.
The only way I can think of how to say this is where you're just not thinking of anything. You're just deep in what's going on.
He forced himself to put himself into a trance to where he wasn't nervous. He wasn't overthinking. He was just, I'm going to hit this ball here. It's going to go there. It's going to go in the hole. And then just hit repeat.
And run out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do work on that stuff like that all the time.
But it's something that has to be learned.
Yeah.
It is definitely something that, it's just as much as putting your cue together. It really is.
The mental side of it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
I mean, there's no reason why a 12-year-old girl can break the balls and I can't.
And run racks.
And run racks, yeah. Why? What is she doing that I'm not doing? Oh, she's concentrating. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
We got all these local 600 players that challenge her. And a lot of it is because they're trying to get views. I mean, that's a lot of it. But then she whoops her ass. I mean, it's not even close. Yeah. It's not even close, dude. Yeah.
And good for her. If she can stay with it. A lot of people cannot. Simply, they call it burnout. I don't think it's burnout. I think it's just other interests.
Yeah, grow. Yeah, especially when as young as she is and growing, right?
Yeah, like Johnny Archer, Tony Ellen, and I, when we were growing up, 16, 17, 18, 19, we just loved competing.
And
We
love the
fell in love with
game,
the
right?
competing. Well,
Yes,
it was just, yeah, but we loved winning.
yes.
It sounds the goofiest thing, but you have to practice winning. We would play tiddlywinks, checkers. We would drop quarters.
Did you ever
It didn't matter
did you
what
ever
it
play
was.
bridge?
No, but we did play card games,
But
and it
back in
was
the day, there
just
was a
as
lot of
brutal.
not bridge. I'm sorry, not bridge. Jen.
Yes, we played Jen.
Jen.
Yes, we
All
played
the,
Jen.
like in the pool halls
And
back in the day.
that kind of
You
stuff.
see a group of guys back in the corner. You know they're playing Jen.
Oh no,
That's a fact.
trust me. When we played, cards went flying.
Yes. Oh, well, that's
We
different.
just did not want to lose.
That's a different story. Right
Cards
there.
would go flying. It was all in fun 10 minutes after. But
Yes.
in the moment, we were all about winning. I remember one time,
And
4
Jen
o'clock in
kinda
the
is
morning,
a brutal game. Let's just be honest about it.
me and Tony Ellen were outside the room at 4 o'clock in the morning playing hopscotch.
Yes.
And I was trying to murder him.
What?
We were outside 4 o'clock in the morning in Tennessee playing hopscotch.
What were you drinking? Come on.
We weren't.
Come on.
But we were both trying to win. We couldn't sleep. We were all jacked up waiting for the tournament to start. And I said, I am a better hopscotch player than you. And he's like, no, you're not. We grabbed some chalk, went outside. Yeah. He had blue chalk in his case, and we went out and made a board, and I won. Or I outlasted him, let's put it that way. But it was just the life we lived.
Here's the payouts from yesterday's Scotch double. So first place was over $2,000.
Very nice.
With everything.
Very nice. Who won?
Hope
it was somebody who owes me money.
They were from Las Vegas.
Oh, hey, that's a start.
But it was a Scotch doubles. You're gonna really love this one. With a total for two players at 1,000 Fargo.
Oh God.
The average
So that might take a little while.
Oh man.
That just might take a couple
It did
minutes.
take a while, and the race was long. So yeah, it was.
That's funny. Yeah, that killer instinct is also something that you need to have. Play pool,
Yes.
but you need it to get better. You don't need it to just be a jerk.
Well, that's what works for you. I mean,
Yeah, I can be a jerk, sure. I just like laughing at people when they fail. It's just part of my DNA.
All right, so me.
This match is getting tight, 7-6.
Yeah, and it's a race to 9. So, and listen, Atish, last time he got behind and he came back and ended up winning.
Yeah.
But Paul, this is Paul just played in another one of these low Fargo tournaments that was like $500 fee and he won it.
He might not win this game. He got straight in on the 8-ball. If he draws it back, he's got to shoot the 9 in the side. If he follows it, he's got to shoot the 9 in the side. Either one are not very fun.
You got to shoot inside. Or
I would follow
He
it.
could draw it back though.
Jacked up, John, the ball's going to jump
Yeah.
straight up in the air.
He's going to do it. Here we go.
This ball's skid every once in a while, too. You missed
And he
these
might
balls.
shoot to the side anyway. But it was straighter than I thought.
Straight, yeah, I agree.
I thought there
Nice
was
shot.
a slight angle to the right.
I thought he was going down to the end rail, so he fooled me. He knows better than I do.
Well,
He ran out.
He's in the right spot.
I'm sitting here talking about a guy running out. This is what the world came to.
For the money. Oh. All right, so we got 68.15. So first place is $6,815, guys, and that's with all in on everything. I'm about to post the numbers here since we got them, and yeah, that's $6,815. That's pretty good money.
That's great.
He keeps putting the pennies in there. I don't. 27 cents.
Tip money, yeah.
Yeah. I don't care much about it. I'm not worried about the jump change, as I call it. 37.37. $16.09. Yeah,
All right. 2 games up, 2 games away. Didn't scratch on the break. Looks like he's got a shot.
Oh, I missed something here. This is fourth place money. 23.59. All right.
Turned a potential run out into a toughie now.
So I'm guessing this tournament, 20 players playing 4 spots. That's not bad, and that's the numbers right there.
Yeah, where else are you gonna go and get this kind of money?
Man, you get what,
If
7
it
grand?
hits it again, he's in trouble. Oh, he's all right.
Here's the money, guys. This is the total payout with all the sides. $6,815 for first, $3,737 for second, $2,359 for third, $1,609 for fourth place. It's not shabby for a one-day tournament.
Yeah.
One day.
Okay, let's see what happened here. Come up with anything good?
Huh?
Where's the cue ball at? Cue ball's in the side or the corner?
It's in the corner.
Oh, he's stuck.
See right here?
Yeah, he's stuck now.
Oh, he's got a shot before. It goes. That's a nice shot.
Yeah. Now he's got to go around the 8 ball.
The key to this for him is the fact that he's played a lot of competition here lately and done well.
That helps.
So he's used to
Just
it.
don't freeze to the 8 ball then. Oh, there we go. Put inside English on it. Very nice.
Let's see how straight he is on that ball.
He's not very straight.
Yeah,
He can just follow this or draw it. I like following it, but most people like to draw it.
Do you put a little inside on it? Or just...
I would, yeah. Just like that.
Oh.
Go right to the rail. No, it's going to be 5 inches past. All right, this gets him on the hill.
All right.
He's thinking about the point. Oh, no, he's waiting for his player next to him.
Then we had a situation earlier where
Guy got bumped.
A guy waited, and then the guy went all the way to the other side of the table, so he got down to shoot, and the guy came all the way back around the table to look at his shot and bumped right into him with the guy's
Yeah,
down
that's
the ball.
just... I mean, I hate to say it.
It's unexcusable.
For the guy shooting, yes. You should learn to concentrate more.
You're down on the ball, and comes in and bumps you?
Yes.
Physically bumps you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you still got to be able to make that ball?
Yeah.
Man, I want to see you play sometime.
I mean, if the other guy came over and was straight in on the 9 and he took his cue and missed it, that's one thing. But if I'm the one holding the cue, who else am I going to blame?
Yeah. Well, he thought he had...
There you go. He wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. He was thinking about that other guy. Why didn't you think about what he was doing?
So Decade, it's going to be going for another...
Yeah, squatted the cue ball, made 2 balls.
A few more hours, maybe. Maybe, I'm not even sure. I got to find out. You know, let me go find out how many players are left, and I'll get back to you because I'm kind of curious now. I'm wondering myself. And Paul, he's on the hill. So let's give me 1 second. I'll go find out how many players we got left, and that pretty much dictates. It looks like we're down to 3 or 4 tables. If that's the case, then we're getting down there. There was only
this guy's shooting at the 1 ball. Oh my God!
Yeah, 100% he is.
No, he's shooting the 1 ball high. He's going to shoot the 1 ball. The one's going to go over here.
Right here? Oh,
yeah.
You think he was aiming high?
He's going to cut it off the 5 ball. I guess that's the 5 ball, and draw the cue ball straight
7.
back.
That's the 7 ball.
That's 7. Okay.
Oh,
he's trying to duck.
And
yep. It's a very tough shot.
Yeah, it was.
But this one isn't that much easier because you might hit the 8 and sell out the 1.
But can't you just?
You have to send it, put it on the center by the nameplate. Cue ball comes up here. If you hit the 8, you're going to sell out another shot. So you want to miss the 8 and go behind the 9. He's going behind the 7.
He's going to go behind the 7. Okay.
This is another very tough shot.
I kind of like. I think I would have played to make that ball and just come across the table. No,
I don't think it was makeable. It was laying goofy.
Okay.
Here's what I was talking about earlier with 3 cushion billiards.
Yes.
Rail first with a little draw. Cue ball goes straight across the table, comes right behind the 7.
Right back where it is right now.
Yeah, and the 1 will go up by the 8 and the 9. A lot of people don't play that shot.
Yes.
He's just trying to masse hit it and trying to
So-
put the cue ball up there.
and run it
There's a
towards.
scratch in this shot if you hit it too thin.
the other view.
Just because you have to put
just
so
a
much
little
masse.
better. I think he can just hit that ball, right? I mean, he doesn't have to do a whole lot.
I like the rail first kick,
Okay.
but I think he's trying to
He
just
might
hit
be.
it.
He might be trying to make it. Honestly, looks like he's going to go for the thin cut all the way down the table.
As long as you don't scratch.
I think he was going for it.
Oh, he hit the 7. That one surprised me.
We're 30 seconds behind, so we can see it. Oh, wait a minute. Look, we're hold. What the heck, man? He just finished. We are more than 30 seconds behind on the stream. Okay, so anyway, so he's got the ball in hand on the 1.
He's got a little stop.
6 in the side. 7 ball down the table. So I'm assuming he's just going to
This
roll
shot
in.
I like to float. I don't
Yes.
float balls very often. Normally I like to pop them in the hole, but this one I would float to retain the angle.
Yeah,
Because if you go down and hit the side, hit the end rail, you might end up dead straight in on the 7. You don't want
or
that.
be so close to that end rail, you can't do a lot with the cue ball.
Yeah, see, I like that shot better. See, as it was, he ended up straight in goofy anyway.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, this ball will spit out, even on a bar table. So you got to pay attention. And the cue ball, if you don't hit it just right, it's going to float high. So you're going to have a goofy shot on the 8. So here's the key shot of the game.
Nice shot.
Nice shot.
Nice, clean.
Not the way I would have played it, but
You're going top 2 English, 2 rails?
yeah, I would have. I'm always trying to figure out a way to cover.
Yeah.
How to keep myself from getting in too much trouble.
I just personally, if I'm using top English, I'm stroking the balls in a lot more into the pocket. They're falling in the pocket more than trying to do that little wobble.
Yeah.
So I try to force it in
Especially
there.
in bar pool, there's not much room, so you got to center ball becomes very, very important.
Yes.
You don't want to be spinning the ball, even in these pockets. You don't want to be spinning balls.
All right. 8-6.
There we go.
All right, Eric. Yeah, Gabe, we'll see you later, brother. I appreciate you coming in. You got a good question. It's a good question. How long it's longer? We got a few hours at least, I would think, but I got to go check. I mean, this match right here. How long you been sitting here?
35 minutes, maybe.
Oh, you think that's it?
Maybe not quite that long.
Shit, it felt like you've been here for hours.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
It felt like you've been here for hours.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Can you get through?
Yep, you stay still. It's got it. No.
You're the second guy to tell me that.
No.
Put both hands on my shoulders and said, "Stay still."
He was in jail and he dropped the soap.
Yeah, no.
No.
Not yet. I have that to look forward to. Oh.
Victor, you ready? Or you need a break?
I need a break.
I'll give you a break. I'll give you a break.
I think after my second year, it was over a 500 in Fargo. I like pool. Pool's fun.
Yes.
I feel like I've
Greatest
had.
games out there.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I've had 2 careers in pool. One when I was trying, and the second one where I'm teaching. I've only actually taught one person. This is something I don't like to do against bad players, is put the 1 and the 9 together. They just tend to get too lucky. They just whack it away. I mean, long shots, even in bar pool, is tough, but putting the 1 and the 9 together is just dangerous. Things just tend to roll. He shot at it. Good result. Got to be careful. If he kicks this 1 ball on the side, he's gonna have to try to get a shot some kind of way. So if he whacks it, he'll be better off. And he sold out a shot. Again, I would float this ball. I would float the 1 on the side, shoot the 2 on the side. Gives you more maneuverability. These tables are pretty level. Cloth is nice. Balls are clean. And it's a good start for a shot. You don't really want to be pumping this ball in the side. Come out. Very nice. Good use of the rail. Good speed. Now he's in a neutral position to just, again, the key shot is the 5 to the 7. So just get there. You don't want to add too much drama to this shot. It looks like he's got an angle just to float down to the rail. If he's going to punch it over, he's putting the 9 in play. That's puts the game in danger. Goofy things happen. And he's fine, even though he hit both balls. Like I said, these balls are pretty level, but every once in a while, if this cue ball jumps up in the air, you're going to end up on the rail again. Didn't look like he had that much angle. So now he's got to worry about his bridge and the angle to not have to go 2 rails from the 4 to the 5 to the 5 to the 7. Yep, see what I mean? You floated it. Beautiful. It's not on the rail. Those are things you have to consider in playing in a rack. Am I going to get a bridge? And he did that well. Well thought out, well executed. Here he doesn't need much. And here he doesn't need much. Just make sure you get it past the side pocket, really. Well thought out, well executed. You just don't dog the cheese and you win the match. Very nice.